Hello students, we should be popping up on the screen at any time now. Let's see how it's going. It looks like I need the lighting adjusted a little bit still. I got a new light, which should make things look a little better. I also switched cameras. The camera that was pointing on me, it's over a little bit, like right there, but I think it should be all right. Okay, hello everybody. How is everybody doing? Let me just one thing. This is really bothering me. Hold on. Is that better? Let's see. Yeah, that's much better. Now I'm actually in the middle. All right, hello students. Welcome back once again. Let's take a look at who we have back in here today. We got Karen back once again. Here, just need to stay awake long enough for class to begin this time, since I know it is very late for you. Laredo is back. Hey, Karen, I trust that you are well. Same here. Guilty as charged, though. I've gone missing, AWOL, for the past 2 weeks, and I am sad that I missed the lessons and the entire team. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that you're back in our classroom once again, Laredo. I'm not sure. Do you have a Facebook? If so, I would like you to join our private Facebook group, Piano Students on the Web, reserved for students who are regular attendees of the live stream, who like kind of an inside look on what's going on with the channel. I post some things there that I don't post anywhere else. So it's just really a close-knit community for the best and brightest students. Let me fix one thing here. Sorry, I had a camera adjustment, so it is a little bit wonky. There we go. All right, how is everybody doing today? I am doing pretty well, ready to get another great lesson under our belt. Today we are talking about repeats and all sorts of things like that. So let me just get a couple of things ready, a couple of things up here on the screen so that we can begin and everything is nice and smooth, at least hopefully, but you know, it is a computer, so who knows. All right, here we go. We got Karen here. We got Tanny here. Let me kind of scroll down for everybody here. All right, Linda's back once again. We got Sue H. Glad that you're here as well, Sue. Welcome back, and welcome back, Linda. We got Tanny Shaw. I believe it's your first time here. Welcome out to our classroom. So happy you could join us today. We got Adria. It all looks good. The lighting is a bit different than what it used to be. A bit darker, cooler. Don't know if that's just me. You know what? It's showing up darker. It shouldn't be, though. There's more lights on me than ever. But I will certainly adjust that. What's weird, though, you know, I need to get probably a new monitor because my monitor over here, I think, makes everything brighter than it really is. Because whenever I move over to a new computer, it looks slightly different. Yeah, it is a little bit darker, isn't it? I don't like that. But we're just going to have to live with it today, and I will hopefully have it fixed. I have a new light in here, actually, so if anything, it should be brighter. But I think what happened is I changed cameras, and this camera might not be quite as bright. I can... Let's see. I don't know, let's say 2, maybe. There you go. It should be slightly brighter now. Okay, let's take a look here. Hey to all. All right, welcome, Mike, back once again. And yeah, if you're a regular attendee of the live stream, please join our private Facebook group. It's called Piano Students on the Web. And if I recognize your name, or if you put in, you know, you message me saying like, oh, I'm so-and-so from the live stream, I will let you in. Okay, great. Yeah, Piano Students on the Web. So it's like piano lessons on the web, but with students instead. All right. Sue says, when you get a hoodie or a girly shirt, I'll buy one and wear it to Disneyland where everybody will see it. That's fantastic. All right. The hoodie is in. I do have a hoodie. So if you don't know, this is a kind of a new thing. We have merch now. Piano Lessons on the Web merch. There's one that says Learn, Master, Share. And then there's another one that says Student. Check out the link in the description. You can get a hoodie right now. In terms of girly fitting clothes, I'm working on getting that resolved, or getting something through that fits that. Linda says, ordered mine today. Thank you very much, Linda. We have had some orders for some short shirts already, which I'm very, very excited about. Okay, let me kind of just get one or two things ready here. I'm going to start the Facebook stream as well. And we're going to get started. Okay, just give me a sec. Does this every time. Sorry about that. Hey, Rich is back once again. Welcome out, everybody. All right, we will begin in approximately 1 minute, so just hang in there. Okay. Hello, students, and welcome out to our classroom piano lessons on the web. So happy you could join us. And if you're joining us for the first time, it's a new experience here for you. You're here for the very first time. I would like you to subscribe if you're on YouTube, and like our page if you're on Facebook, because we have new live sessions coming out every Friday, every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and some lessons peppered out in between so you don't want to miss a beat. Today, we are going to be talking about repeats. And actually, before we get into it, I would like you to share this lesson, because the more students we have in attendance, the better of a discussion we'll have, and the more we will all learn together. So as I said, we're talking about repeats today. So a repeat tells you to replay a section or an entire piece over again. I'm going to show you what this is about here in just a second. If the repeat sign has a beginning, you will repeat to where the repeat starts. I'll explain in a sec. If there is only an ending repeat sign, you will go back to the beginning. So basically what that means is that a repeat sign will often have a beginning. First of all, a repeat sign is, let's take a look here at the sheet music. A repeat sign is this thing, like on the first line you can see there. It has the two bar lines with the two dots there for both the treble clef and the bass clef. So you can see it right there at the beginning here for Elise. When it has a beginning, that's a beginning repeat sign. Let me show you where the ending repeat sign is going to be. So here's an ending repeat sign. It looks exactly the same. It's just mirrored the other way. Two lines and two dots for the treble clef and bass clef. Now, what I was telling you a minute ago is when you have a beginning repeat sign, you play all the way through it, before the repeat sign, all the way through it until you get to the ending repeat sign. And then you repeat back to where the starting repeat sign is. As I mentioned in the notes, if there's no starting repeat sign, which is very common, there's only an ending one, that means you're going to replay the entire section or the entire piece over again. So if I'm playing for Elise here, I'm going to start out, and let's get the piano in here. It is a piano lesson after all. And we're going to start play all the way through, and there's the repeat sign. So I'm going to go all the way back up to the first line again where the first repeat was, and then I'm going to continue playing. Once you hit the repeat, you can continue playing through the rest of the song. If there is more of the song, sometimes you will have a repeat at the very end of the piece. So quite simply, that's how repeats work. If there's a beginning repeat sign, you repeat back to there. If nothing's written, you automatically assume you're going back to the beginning. Okay, now we're going to talk about repeats with endings, the first ending and the second ending. So you can read all about that if you want to pause the video, but we're going to talk about it, or I'm going to show you actually right now. So actually in this piece, for at least, there's the first ending and the second ending, and it's found on line 3 right here. If you notice that there, right before the repeat sign, there's a bracket with a number 1, and then right after the repeat sign, there's a bracket with a number 2. That is what's called first ending and second ending. And what you will do is the first time playing through, you'll play through that. You know what? That's not a first and second ending. It just looks like it because there's finger numbers there. What? Well, that messes me up. Oh wait, no, it is one. Okay, sorry. Let me restart that explanation again. I apologize. I got confused for a second because I thought they had bamboozled me here. Okay, so a first and second ending works like this. So as you can see from for release, right on this line here, we have right before the repeat, we have a number 1 in a bracket, and right after the repeat, we have a number 2 in a bracket. So this is how this works. You're going to start from the beginning like we did just a second ago. You play all the way through the repeat. Then you repeat back to where? Think about it. Think about what I said earlier, right? Well, there is a beginning repeat right here. So we would repeat right back to there and play all the way through like I kind of did a second ago until you get back to the number 1. Now, here's the tricky part that gets a lot of students is that you don't want to play through the number 1 measure again, which is, music's broken up into these boxes called measures. You're actually going to skip over number 1 because that's the first ending, and you're going to go right to the box number 2. So if you forget about it and you play both of them, it's not going to make a whole lot of sense because it's going to sound like you're starting the same thing over again. It's going to be kind of like this. See how awkward that was? So on the second repeat, or when I repeat it on the second playthrough, I'm going to go to after where the repeat is, where it has the number 2 there, and continue there. So now it makes sense, right? So literally the first ending, second ending is the first ending. You're going to go through the first ending first, and then on the playthrough, remember to skip over the first ending right to the second ending and then continue from there. Very, very important. This gets so many students. I'm not even kidding. All right, let's get on to the next type of repeat. All right, and if you're new here, I will be answering your comments and questions here as soon as we are finished with the main part of the lesson, which is, this is a short one today, so only a few minutes. Okay, let me get 1 or 2 things up. What is this? Alfine, huh? And get D. Man. Okay. Here we go. Okay, now we're going to talk about DC versus DS Alfine, which is a type of repeat. You're going to see it usually at, towards the last page, but you can see it in the middle of a piece of music as well. So here's the thing you got to keep in mind is that I want you to remember 2 things. DC means da capo. That means from the head. That means you're going to start over from the beginning. So whether you see DC Alfine, DSL Coda, or any other kind of DC in any form, that means you're going back to the beginning. Remember, DC, back to the beginning. But if you have DS, that means you're going to go back to where they have a funny looking S sign. So remember, DC means from the head or from the beginning. DS means del segno, which means from the sign. And then fine is where you will finish. So let me show you basically an example, a short example of a DSL fine here. So as you can see that, I think I can put in the piano here. So as you can see, we have this short little passage. And what you're going to do is you're going to play all the way through the end of the line like I did until you see DSL fine. So if it says DSL fine, where should you go? What did I say a minute ago? Think about it. Use your brain power. Use it, use it, use it. What did I say? What did I say? You go back to the beginning. Anytime you say anytime you see DC. That's kind of hard to say. Anytime you see DC. So you're going to go play all the way through. And then I'm going back where? To the beginning. And I'm going to stop where it says fine. So a very simple example for you. So obviously in a song, it'll be a little bit more stretched out. Think of a DC al fine a lot of times as like a half of a repeat, where you're going to go back to the beginning, but you're only going to repeat like half of the piece again, or maybe a line or two, just to kind of finish there. So remember, fine, I believe in some translation means finish, so that's where you will finish. DC, if it has DC, where do you go back to? Do you go back to the middle? No, you go back to the beginning. Okay, let's show you what DSL fine is all about now. So let me bring this up for us. So we have the same example pretty much, but now we have DSL fine. So what in the world are we going to do? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to play through the piece until you get to DSL fine. So it says DSL fine. Do I go back to the beginning? No, you go back to this symbol right here. It's right after the first measure there. It has like an S, a thing through it, and 2 dots. I just call it the S symbol. So you don't go back to the beginning, you go to the S symbol. So actually, after I play the last measure here, I'm going to go back to the symbol. And where do you think I'm going to stop? I'm still going to stop at fine. So whether it's DC al fine or DS al fine, you're always playing again until the fine. That just means finish. That means you're done. Remember, DC, you go back where? To the beginning. DS, you go back to the sign, the S sign. All right, there's still more. Let's talk about it. Okay, now we're going to talk about DC versus DSL Coda. Right? There's something similar here to what we just talked about. What is it? DC, right? You go back to the sign? No, you go back to the beginning. I can't stress that enough. DS, you go back to the sign. So that part of it is exactly the same. After that, it gets a little bit different. So you can read about it here if you want to pause the video and take a look at the notes. But meanwhile, I'm going to bring up our next example, which is right here. Okay, here we go. All right, already ready. So let's bring this up. So here's our example. Let me just bring it up by itself first. So I'm going to start from the beginning, right? No matter what these say, you start from the beginning. And there's a sign there, but it's okay. The S sign, you can ignore that for now, because that's where you go back to. And I'm going to continue all the way till it says DSL Coda. Now it says DS. Where do I go back to? Oh no, what do we think? To the beginning? No, that would be DC. DS, I go back to the sign, that S sign. And I play until it says to coda. Sometimes it's going to have a little bullseye. They actually have the bullseye there for the coda. That just means the coda section, as you can see from that last line. So a lot of times instead of saying to coda, you'll see that bullseye. That teleports you to the coda, which is the finishing kind of thing. So it's just like DSL fine, except this time you're playing from the sign to the part where it says to coda, and then you play the coda, and then you're done. So after I do the to coda, just like that. So if I'm playing it all the way through, wait, let's get both in here. So I don't do anything until I hit that DSL Coda, and then I go back to the sign. Now I go to the coda, which is all the way at the bottom. Pretty simple. Now, obviously, in a full-scale work, you might have to think about it a little bit, chart out where you're going to be going from there. Okay, let's take a look at what we have next. Oh, that was from the other lesson. No etudes today. Okay, so that's all there really is to know about repeats. If there's anything in your music you have a question about, or you're still confused about how to do these different types of repeats, let me know in the comments. I'd be more than happy to help you. And our students in our wonderful community, I'm sure, would be willing to help you as well. So what I want you to do from here on out is, of course, subscribe and become a part of our classroom piano lessons on the web. You want to check out some of our other lessons as well, but you definitely want to subscribe because, hey, we meet live every Friday, every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there's lessons peppered out in between, and you don't want to miss any of it. So make sure to subscribe, and if you're watching this on Facebook, like our page on Facebook for the same reasons. So anyway, this has been Tim from Piano Lessons on the Web. Thank you so much for joining us in our classroom, and I'll talk to you real soon. Thank you so much. Okay, live stream students, I am still here. Now I'm just going to be kind of opening it up for questions because I know that was a pretty short lesson. Okay, yeah. Mike says, seems to me it would be much simpler to just write the music without all that stuff. Yeah, I agree, but they do. The reason, probably one of the reasons they did is back then they didn't have copy machines. So to rewrite an entire section of music is a lot of work. So I think to kind of abbreviate it to where, like, it wouldn't make sense to rewrite the first part of Fur Elise over and over, although they kind of do anyway. But anyway, it basically is to save paper and I think save them from writing out pieces, sections of the music over and over again. I might have seen these in our church. You probably have. Breaking Bread songbooks. Coda 1 is familiar. Yeah, you will see these in church hymnals and things like that. You also see them in real classical music, so they are important to learn. Okay, let's take a look here. Hey, Cheryl's back once again. Sorry I missed your comment from earlier, Cheryl. Welcome back to our classroom. So happy you can make it out. Hey, Tim, how have you been? I've been well. We got some new t-shirts. That's probably the newest development that has happened. If you're interested in picking one up, showing the world that you are a Piano Lessons on the Web student, feel free to check the link in the description that I have supplied. So is there any questions anybody has in the chat right now about repeats or anything? I know it's kind of it's pretty cut and dry, I think. Hey, Jordan's back once again. Hello, Tim. Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late. Not a problem. I certainly understand. Karen says, I'm undecided what color I'll begin with, forest green or navy. Okay, wow, great stuff, says Laredo. Already 49 members. I didn't realize we had that many here right now. I have managed to locate the Facebook group, Access Pending Tim. Yippee, I'm so excited. That group has been created. All right. I'm excited about it as well. We've been having some pretty good discussions. Students have been sharing amongst themselves, which is amazing. That's one of the reasons we created that. The Facebook is on live. At least it should be. Hopefully it is. I ordered the black. I love the white keys on the black, just like the real piano. Yeah, I like that shirt too. I actually have one coming. So I only have red right now. And right now I'm getting the classic piano black. I just like calling it classic piano black. It's not really called that, but the black. And then I have one blue. And I have a hoodie. And I don't know if I have any other colors coming in other than that. I mean, eventually I will, because I kind of want to be wearing a different one. At least every few lessons, so this one doesn't get too stinky and too stale. Okay, let's see here. Sue, I'm not sure. Rich says, Sue, I'm not sure about the piece you're talking about, but if there is a natural sign that probably means the key signature tells you to sharp every F. Yeah, that is very true. Let me take a look at what Sue did say. Sue says, regarding the 718 etude from Friday, yes, in the third measure there is a natural sign, but I don't see where it was sharped or flatted before. Confusing. Let me take a quick look at this for you. Hopefully I can, yeah, I think I can find it without any problems. Let's take a look here. Czerny etudes. All right, I'm almost there, I promise. Where are you? Left hand. Here it is. Okay, so you were talking about 718 from Friday. In the third measure, there's a natural sign. So the third measure of number 1, there is. Oh, the natural sign, and they technically don't need this. This is what you're talking about. You're in measure 3, the number 1 here. The reason they have this natural sign, they technically don't need it because it's in a different octave. But if you look at the left hand, there's an F sharp there. And that's what we call a courtesy accidental. That's reminding you that, hey, you know, this flat, or just the composer's intention to say, hey, I want this to be F natural, not F sharp, because you might be confused otherwise. But the unwritten rule is that if it's more than an octave apart, the sharp does not apply. But I find most of the time they will write a courtesy accidental for you. Yeah, I can explain ties. Okay, let me get to some of the... Okay, I'd seen codas and repeats before, says Tanny, but music ties still confuse me, especially if they are long. Can you explain those further? I can. Let me find, hopefully I can find an easy example right in front of me. Would be cool. Life usually isn't that easy, though. You know what? I have one here, but I want to see if I can find a better one. Hmm. Okay, so here we have the etude number 2 we were talking about last time on Friday. And in the opening 2 measures, you have C, 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 F. Now see how there is an overarching line over a lot of individual notes? They're not connecting each note together. So that is what we call a slur. That basically means you're going to like kind of connect the notes together. You know what? I want to find a better example of this because I just feel like this isn't gonna turn out good. I know I should be more positive. Let me see. Piano music ties. Oh, that popped up with literally ties. All right, let's use this example. This is fine. There we go. It's not what I wanted to do. Open. Wait, where's just view image? Open image in new tab. Here we go. So as you can see from this example, we have in measure 1 G, G, G. You see how the G between the end of measure 1 and the beginning of measure 2 have that tie line on there. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit that G on beat 4. Since we have 4 beats in a measure, you have beats 1 and 2 taken up by the half note. 1, 2, and let me get the piano in here. You got 1, 2, and then 3, 4. But instead of lifting up and then playing on beat 1 again, I'm actually going to hold it over. So that's really a big use for ties, is if you want to be holding over notes between measures. So because you can't write a half note between measures. It just doesn't work like that. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then I'm going to move notes 2, 3, 4, like that. So you're literally tying the beats together. If you have 2 quarter notes tied together, you're going to hold it for 2 beats. If you got a dotted half note tied to a quarter note, you're going to hold it for 4. If you have 2 whole notes, which are worth 4 apiece, you tie them together. How many are you going to hold it for? You're going to hold it for 8. So that's really what they are for. For example, also, we have the end of the line 1 here where you have G's again. You have G and then another half note G. But you see how there's a tie at the end of the line, and then it comes into line 2. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to hit the first G on beat 1 and 2. 1, 2. You hit the next G on 3, 4. And then you're going to count 1 on the next measure. You're not playing another note. You're tying it over 1. And then you're going to continue playing the notes that you have. 2, 3, 4. And then just continuing the next measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one's a whole note tied to a quarter note. So you're going to hold that for a total of 4 or 5. That's how math works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And now notice how I didn't count to 5. I reset at 1 because that's how you should be counting. You should be resetting your 1, 2, 3, 4s every measure. That's just how it's intended. And that'll make sure that you have everything in the right place. Okay. I'd love to see behind the scenes view of your studio setup. No, you wouldn't. I'm just kidding. You probably would, but I'll tell you what. I'll do that before I move. I'm not going to give you a behind the scenes now because you'll probably be surprised. Because I want to move into a real studio. Or I want to move into a real house and have a real studio in it to be more exact. That also let me push out more content, so that will be a very much appreciated. Okay. Okay, what does this mean? Sue says in parentheses 126. Yeah, that means that's what you're going to set the metronome to. So if you just type in metronome into Google, they have it pretty set up these days. And you see right away it brings up a metronome. You press play, and it starts the clicks. You know, you play 1 beat for each click. And that number tells you what to set it to. There you go. So 126. So that's how fast. Bump, 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 bump. So that's how fast you would be playing your piece. Okay, we got Mike back once again. Would love... Oh, wait, you already answered that. I'll show you someday. Laredo says, I was quite slow in following Rich. I shall have to go over the material a few more times again. And that's very normal, by the way. So if you don't get something the first time and you need to go over it again, that's very, very normal. A few more times again, and also do a bit of research on vocabulary to ensure I understand. I shall truly appreciate. Yeah, and Laredo, once you join the Facebook group, feel free to ask me questions in there, because then I'll have more time to kind of focus in. We're starting to, which is a very, very, very good thing, by the way. We're starting to get to the point where we're having so many people attend that I miss out on some questions. If you want me to definitely get to your question, by the way, you can feel free to leave a super chat. If not, I may or may not get to it, and then you can feel free to leave it in the Facebook group. By the way, if you like today's lesson, you appreciate what we do here, feel free to leave me a super chat. It's always very much appreciated. Always definitely helps out the channel. And I think while some more questions are coming in, I'll get to some more here in a second. I do want to bring up that I have a website, pianolessonsontheweb.com, where I have over 20 courses I designed to help you learn a lot more about piano music. These are for beginners, intermediate, or advanced students. So if you're any of those, there's something here, plenty here for you to learn. They have instructional videos similar to the ones you see on the YouTube channel, although they are exclusive to the website. You won't see them anywhere else. And they also include assignments, printable sheet music examples, real pieces to play, activities, and a lot more to really make sure you're not only learning the topics, but you're reviewing them, practicing them, and mastering them. So head over to pianolessonsontheweb.com and check it out, because if you like what we do over here on the channel, you're going to love what we got going on over there, and it's a great way to support the channel at the same time. So I just wanted to mention that. Let's take a look at some more comments and questions, shall we? Okay, slurs. So we got 2 questions on slurs. Rich gave me, yeah, so I still can't find the link, everyone. Oh, what's happening, Cheryl? What's happening, Cheryl? I want shirts. Oh, if you want a t-shirt, let me, wait, hold on. Let me get you a link here. Okay, if you want to pick up some t-shirts, some merch here, take a look here. And there is the link for you. Hopefully that link works out. Let me know if it does not. Okay, we're going to talk about a 2-note slur now. So let's take a look at what Rich was talking about. So we did have one of these earlier. Let's see, where was it? It was like one of the last examples I played. Where are you? Oh, it's the DSL Coda one. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so as you can see from the beginning of the piece, we have 2 notes right away. The G and the A, 8th notes. They are slurred. So you're going to, whenever you see a slur, that basically means that you are going to be connecting the notes together. And what I mean by that is you're not going to be playing them staccato like this. See how they're detached from each other? You're going to be playing them smoothly connected, meaning that you're only going to be lifting up off the one note you play after you play the next. It creates a nice flowing pattern rather than this, which is really short and really disjointed. Okay, so what do you do if you only have 2 notes that are slurred? Well, what I do is, and actually the correct way to do it, is you're going to connect them together, obviously, but see how there is a break in the slur right after the 2nd note? So you're going to connect those 2 notes together, just like you would slur, a string of 5 notes, but you're going to lift up just a little bit to break the sound a little bit. Because that's one of the things that slurs are for. They are to create phrasing in the music, so which kind of helps complete an idea. So anytime you have breaks in your slurs, you're actually going to physically lift up your hand just a little bit to create just a little bit of a break in the sound. So how I would play this one, I'm going to show you the incorrect way first. So here's how you don't want to play it. And also another incorrect way would be where you slur them all. What we have here is we have the first 2 notes slurred. See how there was a break in the sound there? But then when I had the other slurs on the other 2 notes, you could see that here that those were connected. Just like that. All right, a lot of people are like, I want a tote bag. I think I might be able to make a tote bag. The only problem with the tote bag is it only comes in a really ugly, well, in my opinion anyway, an ugly, like, vanilla color. It's weird. I can't get, like, blue tote bags, but. How do you practice piano independence, says Salvador. All right, Salvador, I want to link you to something here because I think that'll answer it a lot better than what I can answer here for you now. So just give me a second and let me tell you where to go. Okay, piano hand independence. Hold on. Hold your horses. Okay, here's what I recommend you do. Okay. Go to our YouTube page, youtube.com. What I would do is just go to youtube.com/lessons on the web. And what I want you to do is scroll down a little bit on the main channel page. And I want you to go to where it says playing with both hands. These lessons are specifically designed to help you play with both hands and develop your hand independence and things like that. So watch through the whole playlist, and it should really, really help you out. Okay, Laredo says, I'm eagerly awaiting to be accepted as part of the Facebook group so I may participate meaningfully and be able to interact with everybody. Request pending. All right, Laredo, I'm not going to accept it now. This is like a thing that goes on when we're not... Okay, so I think you got confused from what I said earlier. So we are streaming Facebook to Facebook Live right now, but that's on the main piano lessons on the webpage, which anybody can access. The piano students on the webpage is where we have discussions outside of the live stream. So when the live stream's finished, then I'll accept your request, and then we'll go from there. So there's nothing going on in that group right this second, but I'll make sure to accept you sometime tonight after we're done here. Yeah, you won't be pending for long. I'll make sure to accept you. Oh, Karen says, or Sue, wait, hope your dog feels better. My girlie is coming to an end. Oh, that's so sad because I know it's not a dog, but I had a cat that died this year, and it was really sad. Along with a lot of other people died this year, unfortunately. All right. Let's see. How come the other notes aren't written with staccato, says Rich. Great question. So I didn't necessarily play them staccato. There's a slight, and it's a slight difference, trust me. There's a slight difference between playing staccato. See how short that is? And playing notes separately that are not slurred. So that's notes that are not slurred together, but not staccatoed either. Sorry if I did play them too short before. So, a slight difference, right? And here's staccato. Hear how short that was? They were extra, extra, extra short. So that's why there weren't staccatos over there, because they don't want them staccatoed. But you do play them like you will want a little bit of sound or a little bit of silence between each note. Just like that. Tim, keep offering you one of my cats. I can't take on another cat right now, but pretty soon, in a few months. She's beautiful. I have to be ever watching over my girl. Yep, I can understand that. Going to have to make that awful decision soon. Aw, sorry to hear that. Okay. All right, any other questions about what we talked about tonight? Let me, while maybe some more questions are coming in, or if I missed your question, feel free to ask me again. I do want to show you what we'll be doing, kind of fill you in on what we'll be doing here in the next few weeks. So if you go back to my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com, and you click on community, this is our page for the live stream here. And if you want a reminder 30 minutes before we meet, fill out the form and you'll get an email telling you that, hey, we're meeting in 30 minutes. But if you scroll down a little bit further, we have the calendar of what we're talking about and when. So we are definitely meeting next week. We're going to be talking about important advice to learning piano as an adult. And then Sunday's going to be like a community Q&A kind of thing. The next week, and I scheduled the pedal one. I'll definitely have to reschedule that pedal one because I have a lot of people asking me about that lesson. That lesson will have to be pushed back because I'm thinking about taking off that last week in March. Just because, it's been about 4 months since I've taken any time off from the live streaming. And I think it would serve me well to take a week off. So that's what I'm planning is for that Friday, March 30th, that I'll reschedule that lesson for a later time. and I'm going to take off that week. So I'm just letting you know. But next week, we're going to be on. So Friday, Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, hopefully to see you there. Got it. Thanks, says Cheryl. Thank you very much, Cheryl. Let's see here. Laredo says, thanks. And Tim, I'm still confused by time signatures, although especially with how figuring them out, the numbers still confuse me. So did you check out... there's a lesson in particular I want you to check out. I don't know if you've seen it yet. If not, I will make another lesson on time signatures. Well, actually, just let me know if you've seen this lesson. What is it, like first rhythm lesson? Hopefully mine pops up first. It does! Oh, yeah. All right, first lesson in rhythm for beginners. You'll want to check that out because I go over beats, time signatures, tempo. These are like the very basic building blocks of rhythm. So you'll definitely want to check out that lesson. So it's just called your first lesson in rhythm for beginners. You can either type it in or you can find it on the main channel page. Yeah, I don't know who you are. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Anybody who... Actually, if there's anything you ever want to know, like, and you wonder if I have a lesson on it already, here's a little tip I have for you. So just type in... So say you wanted to know about rhythm. You just type in rhythm and then lessons on the web or piano lessons on the web. Either one works pretty good. And then you can scroll down and see all the rhythm lessons I have, including one from Michael New here. I don't know why his came up with mine. But anyway, so these are all the lessons I have made about rhythm and counting. Okay, you'll still have a live stream this Friday the 23rd, but I'll be missing that lesson. Oh, man, yeah, we'll still be having one on the 23rd, but then we'll be off, I believe, for the 30th. I also impressed my band teacher that I play drums with my skills. All right. Black tote only, says Linda. Yeah, I'll see what I can do about tote bags, but I'm not sure. All right, any other questions, whether it be a question I might have missed or, something that we talked about tonight or just lessons on the web in general? Cheryl, by the way, Cheryl, are you still here? Join our Facebook group. I don't know if you've joined yet. Piano Students on the Web. Actually, I don't know if you have Facebook, first of all. But anybody who's a regular attendee of the live stream and you have Facebook, go on Facebook, type in Piano Students on the Web. Now, it's a closed group, and I only accept people that are regular attendees of the live stream. But feel free to invite yourself, and if I recognize who you are, I'll accept. And if I don't accept, send me a private message and let me know who you are, because I know a lot of times your name will be different from your screen name here. But Cheryl, I would especially want you to join, because I know that that you... Yes, no. So I assume that yes, you're here, but no, you do not have Facebook. That's okay. I know it sucks. Going to a concert, not another Trans-Siberian Orchestra or Trans-Siberian Orchestra concert, but Vic Ferrari concert featuring former Trans-Siberian Orchestra violinist Mark Wood. Saw this show last year. All right, well, congratulations. That sounds like a lot of fun. Hey, Rich with the super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really, really appreciate it, Rich. Any support you can give. And I need to get in contact with you about a Skype lesson sometime in the near future. I think you said you were curious about that. So either get in contact with me or hopefully I'll remember to send you a message on Facebook. Tanny says, I saw the song writing live stream was on the 25th. Did that change? That should be fine, right? Let me take a look. Is that on the 25th? Yeah, that's fine. Because that will be any of the live streams we have next week. That's the same. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I need to change on the calendar That's the songwriting live stream. So yeah, that one is definitely going to happen on the 25th. Okay, can't sign in again to top chat. Okay, I'm not sure about that. I'd love to get to the proms at the Royal Albert this year. Okay. Loretta says, thank you, Tim. I shall go through the lessons. I really find the lessons enlightening and extremely valuable. Well, thank you so much, Laredo. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody's nice comments, honestly. I know you guys are really supportive of me. I try to be really supportive of you, and I can just feel the love in the classroom. So thank you all for the support. I really appreciate that. Seriously, and I say this all the time now because it's so true. You are the reason that I'm still doing this. If none of you cared, I would have stopped caring, and I would have stopped making lessons years ago. Hey, Rich says they finally added Super Chat for mobile devices. That's true. They just added Super Chat for more people. Try to donate as much as I can now. Thank you very much, Rich. I appreciate that. Hope you do get to go someday, Karen. Okay. New subscriber says, Tony, do you have any time to explain how to play in a 6/8 time signature? Well, let me see. I do have a lesson on 6/8. I'm going to point you to that first, but I will explain 6/8 real quick as well, since we do have about 10 minutes left, and we're running dry on questions just a little bit. So if you type in 6/8 piano lessons on the web, let's see. Maybe I don't. How don't I have a lesson on 6/8? Do I not have a lesson on 6/8? That blows my mind. If I don't have a lesson on how to play 6/8 time signature. All right, so I'll definitely explain it now. Yeah, I can do that for you. Hey, Linda, for the super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your support. Okay, let's take a look here. At Staffapad. Okay. I need to finish the student jingle. I'm almost done with the ebook. Actually, I have put the draft in the Facebook group. But the ebook will be done soon. It's a free ebook on my methodology on correct piano practice and what you should be working on. Okay, let's take a look here. So 6/8 time signature. So I assume that by asking this question, you already know about 4/4 time signature. 4 beats in a measure, quarter note gets 1 beat. Okay, so in 6/8, there's 2 main differences. There's actually a little bit more than that. But first, let's find 6/8. Okay, so here's the 6/8 time signature. So you're going to have now, every time signature tells you 2 things. First, the top number tells you how many beats in each measure, which are each of these boxes. So that number is 6. And then the bottom number tells you which note gets 1 beat. Here's how I would think about the bottom number. If you cross out the top number and you put a 1, that's 1/8, right? 1/8. And hey, we have a note called an 8th note. So this tells you if the bottom number is an 8, whether it's 6/8, 9/8, 12/8, then it will be the 8th note will get 1 beat instead of the quarter note. Now, this has a few implications, right? Because if a quarter note got 1 beat before, but now an 8th note gets 1 beat, well, what happened here? What's the conversion? Well, how many did an 8th note get in 4/4? An 8th note got half of a beat. So if we're turning a half of a beat into 1 beat, we're essentially doubling every type of beat there is. So if you have a quarter note now is worth how many? Well, it was worth 1 before. It's worth 2 now. What about a dotted quarter note? This might be a little bit more complicated math, but not too bad. Dotted quarter note before was worth 1.5. Well, what's 1.5 plus 1.5? Which is 3. So now a dotted quarter note gets 3. What about an 8th note? Well, I already told you an 8th note is going to get 1 beat. So let's chart out this measure as 6/8. Anytime you're counting, whether it's 4/4, 6/8, 3/4, you want to always be counting the numbers, each number of the measure, and then restarting the count when you get into a new measure. So here is beat 1. But does that quarter note just take up beat 1? It would in 4/4, right? But remember that now takes up beats 1 and 2. Now we have the dotted quarter note. It's going to take up beats 3, 4, and 5 because it takes up 3 now. And then you just got beat 6 by its lonesome because that 8th note now gets 1 beat to complete 6 beats in total. You can't have any less than 6 beats unless it's a pickup measure, and you can't have any more than 6 beats in each measure. So that's just how the measures work. Let's do another example here. So say we have a dotted half note. This is kind of a cop-out to fill out a whole measure, but how many does a dotted half note get? Well, how many did it get before? It got a 3 beats, right? Well, if everything's doubled now, what is it going to get now? Well, 3 plus 3 is 6. So this dotted half note is going to get all 6 beats of this measure. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then finally 6, like that. So that's going to take up all 6 beats. So here's how I would play both of these measures from beginning to end. And I'm going to count along with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That takes up the entire thing. So I hope that explanation was helpful for you as an introduction to 6/8. It reminds me that I probably need to make a lesson on 6/8. But, you know, I will make a lesson on that very soon because I definitely need it. I'm surprised I don't have a lesson. I really feel like I do somewhere, though, on the channel. But hopefully that explanation helped you out. Okay, let's see here. Linda says, ditto. Tim's ebook is going to be helpful and will get me organized. Okay, and on track. Thank you. Love to do super chat, but can't tonight. That's okay, Mike. I appreciate that. Rich has an interesting question. Tim, can I ask you about getting a degree in music? Okay, how realistic is it to try and do it in my 30s? It's perfectly reasonable. I know a lot of people when I went in my early 20s that were in their 30s, 40s, even 50s. So it's certainly realistic. I've already gone to school for a business degree, but I'm not happy professionally. Yeah, so it's very, very doable, I think, you know. Now, you might want to talk to me about where you want to go or what you might be thinking about in terms of what you want to major in and things like that, because different schools have different kinds of requirements on how to get in. So I would love to chat with you about that, actually. So if you want to do either a Skype lesson or we can talk about this on Facebook, because I'd really like to just kind of chat with you one-on-one, get your input on what you want to do, and kind of direct you and actually where you live and, you know, what music schools are maybe around there and what you can audition for and apply for. Somebody at your skill level, I think it's doable. There's some things you'll have to work on ahead of time to get ready, but it's certainly doable, I think. So yeah, the answer is yeah, it's certainly realistic. Do you also need an education degree to teach music? If you want to teach in a public school, you do. If you teach in a private school or you teach, like me, privately, one-on-one or over the internet, you do not need an education degree. Although I did take a lot of the education classes when I was in music school, but by the time I was finishing up music school, I decided that I did want to go to the private route, teach privately, and I didn't really know I was going to teach online yet. That's not something that came until about 2012 or 2011 that idea appeared. But at the time, I knew that I wanted to teach one-on-one piano lessons rather than in a school, because in a school there's a lot of politics and things. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, especially these days with what's going on in schools. It's not something I would want to do. But anyway, but I did take a lot of the education classes, but then I switched over to business, music and business by the end. So I took a lot of business classes along with music at the very end. Okay. Is David Brubeck's Take 5 the only song 5/4 measure, or are there many more examples of songs? There are. I just can't tell you them right now without kind of looking it up ahead of time. Okay, Rich says, okay, thanks a lot, Tim. We'll talk later through Skype or Facebook. Yeah, yep, that sounds great with me. Okay. Oh, Carolyn. I want to thank Carolyn. I don't think I got to that yet. Carolyn gave us a $5 super chat, everybody. Thank you so much, Carolyn, for the contribution. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who bought a shirt this week. We sold about 4 or 5 of them already. I think we're going to sell quite a few more. It does help me out. And you get to show people, that you're part of our lessons on the web classroom. If you want to contribute to the channel in any way, buying shirts is great. Super chats are great. Signing up for courses on my website are great. But you know what? Say you don't have any money, or you're just in a position right now you can't give anything. That's totally fine. You just being here at the live stream or just watching after the fact, leaving comments or contributing in any way to our classroom, even if it's just sitting back, relaxing, and watching the lessons, it's a big help, and it really, really does help keep me going, and really does help keep our classroom going. Because like I said, if the views weren't there, if the support wasn't there, if you guys and girls weren't there attending our live streams, I would have quit this a long time ago, to be honest, because why continue a channel if nobody cares? So it's really thanks to all of you that we're still going stronger than ever. I mean, 2018's been better than ever. 2019 is going to be better than 2018. I just know it. Last year I had a rough year, and we still did way better. Our community grew more and more, and it's just been fantastic. So I want to thank everybody out there for really help making this channel possible. Whether you're just sitting back watching the lessons, or you're contributing monetarily in some way, or you're really showing up, sharing, and everything like that. It's just so much appreciated on my end. Would I have to do an undergraduate program again? Sort of. That's a tricky one. That's something you'd have to talk about with the school you're trying to do. If you're trying to because there's undergraduate music degrees, there's also graduate degrees. Those are hard. I don't even have a graduate degree in music. I have a graduate degree in information technologies. I would love to get one in music. But for that, I would have to practice a bit. You could, I would think that a lot of so say you wanted to get an undergrad degree in music, or just a degree in music, right? It would probably be an undergrad degree, what you would start out with. However, I think a lot of the classes you already took for undergrad would carry over. So I don't think you would have to take all your classes over again. I think as long as you pick the right school, you would just have to take the music classes over again. And then another thing to consider is you don't necessarily need a degree if you want to teach piano lessons to some degree. So if you want to start out teaching one student just to kind of see how it goes, see if you can, learn along the way, you can try that. Having a music degree will help you with that for sure, but it's not an absolute necessity. It depends on what you want to go for. So we're going to talk about this in Skype or on Facebook as to whether you want to be a teacher or you want to be a performer or where you would like to go. Laredo, the Halloween theme is in 5.4. Check out my channel for a goofy cover of it. Yeah, I've seen that one. You did one this Halloween and last Halloween, right? You did 2 different ones, if I'm remembering right. All right, everybody, we are at the 9 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock for me anyway. We're going to be meeting again next week, Fridays and Sunday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to check out pianolessonsontheweb.com for both the courses and where is it? And I feel like wait, hold on. I feel like I'm on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bueller. All right, anyway, if you go to pianolessonsontheweb.com, you click on community. That's the calendar of what we're meeting and when. We're definitely meeting next week. We might take off the week following. But make sure to fill out the email form so you get an email 30 minutes before we meet. It seems to be working pretty well and seems to be doing a good job at notifying people when we're meeting. So I thank everybody for for coming out. We got one more question here. What does piano cover mean? All a piano cover is that if you play a song that's done by somebody else, you might play it exactly or you might change it up a little bit. That's a piano cover. So if I play Jingle Bells, or I don't know, that's maybe not a good example, but if I play Jingle Bells or any other song, I change it up a little bit, but kept it mostly the same, that would be a cover. So it's just playing a song on, and recording it. Cheryl says, I have Facebook. Wonderful. So Cheryl, look up, terrific. So look up piano students on the web on Facebook, and I will accept your invitation to join if you haven't joined the Facebook group already. Hello, Tim, and to all you piano people, says Daeyong. Well, welcome out to our live stream, Daeyong. I really appreciate you coming out. Fortunately, we're going to end here in just a few minutes, but you can check out the recording, which should be up almost instantly. It should be up within, you actually might be able to go through and watch it already. I'm not sure how that works, but it's up very, very soon now. It doesn't take any time. And actually, the chat also carries over now, which is a wonderful feature. I love that. All right, everybody, thanks for coming out. Thanks for being a part of our classroom. I really appreciate it. I really love all of you, and thank you for coming to our class once again. We are going to be meeting next week. Don't miss out. And I am going to see you real soon. Rich says, thanks, Tim, and everybody. This channel brings me a lot of joy. Thank you so much, Rich. I appreciate that. So thanks, everybody. If you want a Piano Lessons on the Web t-shirt, check out the link in the description. It also helps out our channel. And hey, what can you lose? So thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you real soon.